All the animals in the forest were living in an undisturbed peace for thousands of years. Until now. Unaccustomed to the strangers, they initially ignored the danger. Then they started to run. Some of them still had hope the threat would disappear, but it never did.
What is wrong with you? Stay away!
Canon EOS R5 C, the best camera for shooting wild animals, is my review part 2. It was a nice hunting, but now it's time to put camera in the cupboard and to watch a B-roll, very nice B-roll. Hello, welcome to my haul. It's 27th of June 2022 and I've been using this camera, Canon EOS R5 C, for almost 2 months and I've learned a lot. And this video, it's not just a review, it's rather my sharing what I've learned so far. But I'm gonna touch elephant in the room, and to avoid keyboard warriors down below in the comment section, let me tell you straight away, okay? This is the best camera I've ever had in my hands. Not just hybrid camera, the best camera I've ever had in my hands. And to be honest, I'm not alone with that opinion. I'm gonna elaborate it later on at the end of this video, but right now let me touch elephant in the room, okay? Or rather zoo in the room. Okay, let's talk about battery. But before I carry on, let me stress right at the beginning. Personally, I prefer to have a weak battery life or poor battery life and so many fantastic video features as this camera offers than fantastic battery life and so-called video features, right? So yeah, battery is dying. Good, 0%. I've got spare battery in the back. I can show you how to handle it, but No, 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 no. I have to take this battery, sorry. I got battery, yeah! Don't die, don't... Okay, it was staged and quite poorly done, but you get the gist. The battery life in this camera is quite bad. So I decided to learn a bit more about it, and I did it in 2 stages. The first one was all about wattage. Canon is very honest about battery life in this camera and put everything on the page of 238 of the manual. So I took a meter and checked wattage in every possible scenario, both on standby and recording mode, when recording 8K, 5.9K, 4K and 2K, with and without battery in, using different PD charges between 30 and 100 watts. And get worse, everything corresponds with the manual. But there's something else what people do not realize. The difference between standby mode and recording is as low as up to 4 watts. And it could make you amazed when you notice that you can record 8K 24 frames per second for almost an hour, and with the same battery fully charged, having camera on standby on 5.9K 60 frames per second, camera lasts just 30 minutes. It shows very clearly that camera on standby works on full power, almost the same as a recording power. I said almost because the difference is about 4 watts, which corresponds to power needed to record on memory cards, right? To make it clear, the camera takes more power on lower resolution, like 5.9K when on 60p, than on higher resolution, like 8K on 30 or 24p. When you realize this, suddenly everything is clear, and at the same time you start to think if there is a way to avoid high power consumption on standby. And yes, it is. I found something else. Obviously, in photo mode, camera takes very little power, on average 5 watts, and lasts forever. You don't have to worry about battery life. But the same situation is when camera is on video mode and you press play button to check your footage. It takes just 5 watts. So my solution, however it seems to be stupid, is to press play button between recordings when you just don't want to switch off camera. Look what happens. I got camera on 5.9K 60 frames per second and battery indicator shows 22 minutes left. When I press play button, it goes as high as 97 minutes. And it's understandable because sensor doesn't work at this moment. But for me it also means that it should be possible to switch off this sensor whenever you want. So it should be possible to make an option for us to do so. It would be so convenient and would save battery. Especially because it is not recommended to connect external power when outside of studio or building. I asked specifically Canon about it and I got an answer, a bit vague, but the gist was that they do not recommend to do so due to opened power cover. So please give us this option, we would be so happy. The second stage was a bit more practical. I just took this camera, one battery, one power bank and one car charger and obviously a car, and went off-grid, without access to outlet obviously, and went off-grid to Scotland for 5 days. And guess what? I didn't manage to deplete this battery totally. It's happened just once when I went down to 10 minutes left, something like this, but generally speaking I taught myself how to use this camera with just one battery with no problem at all. I'm gonna show you this footage from Scotland because that will lead me to the next subject on this video, on this video. this what you've seen was taken in Scotland, entirely on battery, apart from time-lapse obviously. And the most important was that I actually took it NK, RAW, C-Log free obviously, so it wasn't color graded. It was just switched on Davinci Resolve. It's called Davinci Color Y RGB color management, something like this. And those colors you've seen were implemented automatically by Davinci Resolve, and it's stunning. It's just breathtaking. I mean, I think there was a video from Gerald Andon, and he said that this way you can get 16 stops of dynamic range, and you clearly can see it. The picture is so clean and so it's breathtaking. So next question, okay? Well, that's the serious one. You're probably thinking, what the hell was that? Well, it was me pretending putting video together on different locations, because thanks to proxy function in this camera, now it's very easy to work with raw footage, 8K, 5.9K, doesn't matter. It's very easy to do so, even if you've got not too strong computer. So, is it perfect camera? Is it time for summary? I could talk about this camera for hours and hours and hours, and I was mocking battery on this video, but actually there is no something like battery gate. No, this battery is perfectly manageable, and camera is as close to perfection as it's possible. For me, as I said already, it's the best camera I ever had in my hands. But to be honest, I think this camera, Canon EOS R5 C, is on its own league. Because you see, I've seen on the internet comparisons to Sony A1 or Nikon Z9, and to be honest, it's misunderstanding. Let's think about it. They are both fantastic photo cameras with excellent video features. This Canon EOS R5 C is an excellent cinema camera with fantastic photo features. A different way around. There's nothing even close to it. There's nothing which you could compare with it, because it's a first camera of its own class. I hope maybe in the nearest future different companies join this league and release something what is comparable to this camera. But right now this is the best camera, at least for me, right? No, you see, just ask yourself one small question. Is it possible to find cinema camera with that function which got that kind of photo capabilities? Because I said nothing about photo capabilities in this camera during this video, because it's material for another video. I mean, I'm very happy with this camera. I think I'm stay with this camera for years to come. I hope. Never say never, but yeah. For me, it's the king. I know. People start to kill me on the internet. All right. Anyway, I finished. Oh, you're still here? Yeah, one more story, okay? I left it to the end because it's quite controversial one. But actually I wanted to say this story very, very much. It could be a bit enigmatic, but please forgive me. I had my first camera in 1986. It was a long time ago, I know, but yeah, it's always hard to admit how old you are, okay? My first digital camera, I even don't remember a year, but it was very tiny, small camera, and it was taking pictures like 640 by 480, something like this. But first digital mirrorless camera was from Sony, and when I bought it quite many years ago, when I bought it, I was over the moon, okay? And right then on the internet was at its beginning, but there was already the website about photography, and I went to this website to read review of this Sony camera I bought. By the way, this website still exists. It's well known, and it's a very good website. It has absolutely fantastic base of information about cameras. There's no this review I'm talking about anymore. I tried to find it, it disappeared. I'm not saying about which one camera it was and which is website on purpose, because obviously I don't want to make a controversy. So I went to this website reading this review of this Sony camera, and right on the end of this review, on the conclusion, there was something like this. I'm not saying it word for word, but it had sense like this: that this is a fantastic camera, it takes fantastic pictures, and has nice video capabilities. You know, back then the video on those cameras were very limited, but it has very nice video capabilities, all that stuff. But we have to remember, Sony never became a Canon. And I thought, what? I was gobsmacked, seriously. Nowadays it is impossible to write something like this on the internet. And right now, when I bought a Canon EOS R5 C, after a few days I understood what the author was thinking about when writing this sentence. It's not about which camera is better, it's not which got better capabilities, nothing about this. It's about how you feel this camera when you got it in your hands. I mean, it's a personal thing, obviously, and there are millions of people who feel exactly the same way towards Sony, Fuji, or you know, you name it. But for me, that story summarizes what I think about Canon EOS R5 C, because that's what I think actually about this camera. It's just perfect. It's perfection, and it's for me. Thanks for watching. How to record proxy? Just choose menu on the down, right here, yeah, then settings, and then second card recording function. You have to switch it on, proxy recording, and then choose a format you want to use. Like here I'm using XFAVC, but you can choose MP4. Let's do it now, just for showing purposes. Okay,
Everything else is set to 2K, so nothing has to do. And now you can see how minutes go down when you press recording. Let's press recording. Go on. Yep. And you see it's recording. But hey, what's up our battery? Oh God, I didn't mean to switch it off.